Number 10, you shall not covet.
You shall not covet. And we finally do come to number 10, and again, I'll reiterate that it was linked to number 1, primarily because Jesus linked them when he was asked to respond, what's the greatest commandment? And he said, love the Lord God with all your heart, mind, and strength, and to love your neighbor as yourself. So they are connected, and they always have been and always will be. Covetous thoughts about a neighbor's goods could and probably will lead to other violations of the covenant, stealing, killing, adultery, and whatever.
Right.
Giving false witness and all kinds of things, because we so much want what that person has. Now this again, it goes also connected to the idolatry thing. You know, we've got a vision, or we've got an image of something in our mind that's important to us that we think is that we have to have, and so we go to all sorts of extremes to achieve that, to acquire it.
Right.
And if we entertain these thoughts regarding a neighbor's goods, we sin against that person, but we also sin against God, because God gave whatever the person had, God gave it to them, and God expects them to have it. If he'd have wanted me to have it, he'd have given it to me.
Right.
So,
right. Well, and also it's like 180 degrees opposite from love your neighbor, because if you're truly loving your neighbor, then you should celebrate that they have something that is so wonderful, and be glad for them, not coveting it for yourself. That doesn't mean that you can't say, well, I also would like to have a new car or something, whatever you think is important, but you can't covet theirs. It's got to be
right.
that you enjoy yours if you get it, achieve it, but in the meantime you celebrate the fact that they have it and are enjoying
exactly.
it.
And see this, and the problem is with people who violated the covenant then, and people who violate this now by, well, our whole system of marketing, merchandising is based on coveting. I mean, it really is.
Right.
It's just, you've got to have this because someone else has it, or because I have it, or whatever, you know. And so it's encouraged, actually, in our society to covet
Right.
what other people have. And we may not even think that much of it, but we get led into the idea of coveting it because everybody wants it.
Right.
But the thing of it is, if we fall into this, what happens? Well, we're guilty of sin. Again, for the Israelites, God had put in place a system of sacrifices where they could atone for this. Of even having covetous thoughts, they could go to the priest and say, here's some of my produce from my field, or some oil from my olive press, or whatever. You burn this on the altar to the Lord, and perhaps he'll forgive me for my sin.
Right.
And so that was the principle behind the temple sacrifices.
Right. Whereas Christians, we know that we can go to Jesus.
Yeah, Jesus made one sacrifice,
Right.
and that satisfied all of these sacrifices that were called for in the Torah,
Right.
in the books of Leviticus and Exodus and so forth. Jesus' sacrifice fulfills all of them. And so we just go to him and ask his forgiveness. There may be a price to pay for our sin. There's consequences.
Right.
But it's not our life.